Hello my YouTube beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the best and worst drugstore foundations for oily skin. A little background, I do have oily skin. Obviously why I'm making this video, but I feel like it's important to kind of go over some of the things to look for in foundations, like the claims, the name, all that kind of stuff, to really know if it's going to be suitable for oily skin, and some terms to avoid when it says it in the foundation description or on the bottle. The first foundation I'm going to talk about is the Revlon Colorstay. This is specifically targeted to combination and oily skin. This is going to be very matte, very long wearing. This is one of the best drugstore foundations for oily skin, especially if you do have like enlarged pores and you get oily throughout the day. This is definitely going to keep your oil at bay and keep you looking more matte. And the great thing about this is it lasts all day long. This is probably the longest lasting drugstore foundation that I do have. So this is a great one if you're looking for a long wearing oil controlling foundation. This is probably one of the heaviest foundations I'm going to talk about. So just keep that in mind. If you are not a fan of heavier feeling foundations, this might not be the one for you, but it's heavy for a reason. It lasts a super long time and it keeps you very, very matte. The next foundation is the CoverGirl Clean Matte BB Cream. This is great if you have oily skin. It also has really great coverage, which I didn't think would happen with the name BB cream in it. I thought this was going to be more of a lighter coverage product, but it actually turns out it has just as much coverage as an actual foundation. This really helps smooth out your skin and it will keep you matte, but it is very lightweight feeling because of the BB cream aspect in here. It's just so lightweight feeling. It's very comfortable to have on the skin. It says suitable for sensitive skin. I totally agree with this. I do have sensitive skin, so this is a great one if you have a little bit more of a sensitive skin, but you want something that's going to last and keep you matte, but it's going to feel a little bit more lightweight. The last foundation I'm going to talk about is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. Even though it says demi matte finish on the bottle right here, it is very matte, like very matte. This is more along the lines of the Revlon Colorstay. This is going to have a lot more coverage than this one would. The bottle says it feels airlight, but personally I think it feels a little heavy, but not nearly as heavy as the Revlon Colorstay. I love that it comes in a tube, so it's travel friendly. Again, if you're looking for a long wearing, high coverage matte foundation, this is a great one at the drugstore. All of these foundations have something in common. On the bottle somewhere it says for oily skin, it says oil control, it says oil free, won't clog pores, keep you shine free. So what you're looking for are terms like those when you are looking for a foundation in the drugstore. I always recommend, like when you're at the drugstore, going online and looking at reviews of the product. I just don't buy anything without looking at the reviews. If the bottle does not say enough about what the foundation does, then you can definitely check online. They have a more detailed description online. Look for oil-free, won't clog pores, because oily skin foundations can be really heavy and can clog pores because they're very matte and they're trying to keep what is in your pores from getting out. The foundations to avoid at the drugstore I don't actually physically have because I don't feel like I need to keep a foundation that I know is not going to work for me, so I just either don't buy it or I've bought it and I've returned it. It just makes more sense to do it that way, or I get rid of it. Just in general, I don't feel like it's worth it to keep it when I'm never going to use it. But the first foundation I had to talk about is the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Pro Glow Foundation. Now this brings up a good point because if you're oily skin looking for a mattifying foundation, you don't want something saying glow or radiant. You don't want anything to say hydrating or dewy. You just don't want those words in your description of a foundation. Now this one, it says it's lightweight and creamy, a glow finish that lasts, it's a hydrating glow, instantly hide imperfections, medium coverage, and then at the bottom it says ideal for normal to dry skin. Most of the time if you go online to view the description, it will have like suitable for blank kind of skin. It will tell you right there what skin type it's geared towards. I would not do this Pro Glow foundation. I have heard horrible things. I tried it once, hated it. It was glowy. You can't set it down because it's just way too sticky. You can't blend anything on top of it. You start off oily looking, and that's just not what I want in a foundation. I want something to keep me matte and not super oily looking. If you get a foundation that's instantly going to hydrate and glow and look radiant, you start off looking like what you don't want in a foundation, if that makes any sense. So I would stay away from this one, and I don't think it lasts that long. Maybe like 5 or 6 hours. You don't want a foundation that only lasts a couple hours. The next foundation to avoid is the L'Oreal Paris True Match Lumi Healthy Luminous Makeup. This is a great one if you obviously don't have oily skin, but Lumi is short for luminous. It says healthy luminous makeup. 40% pure water for all day hydration. What I found with water-based foundations is they just don't work very well. They are very hydrating, very slick and oily feeling. It just, you can't touch your face. It's going to be very, very sticky and it's going to get everywhere. That's another thing I don't like about super luminous foundations is because it's hard to set it, you don't want to like touch your face at all because it'll just wipe away. But this foundation is great for people who have dry skin, and it's nice because it has a pump. I just don't like it. I have tried it once before and I found that it was way too luminous for me. I just looked like a disco ball. The last foundation to avoid is the L'Oreal Paris True Match Lumi Cushion Foundation. This, number one, has like zero payoff when you dip your sponge in there to apply it to your face. It dries out incredibly quickly. It takes forever to build it up because it is such a lightweight foundation. It is very luminous coverage. I did not like this at all. It says for all skin types. It also says safe for sensitive skin and does not clog pores, but for me, the more you add on the foundation, the glowier and dewier it gets. And the hard part is you cannot just apply a light layer of this foundation. You have to go over your face 2 or 3 times to actually get the coverage that at least I wanted. I like at least medium coverage, but this was just a no-go for me. It just took a long time to apply and the coverage wasn't what I wanted and it didn't stay on my face that long. I just wasn't a fan of this one. So that is the last foundation to avoid. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope you thought it was helpful. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave so you don't miss out on my future videos, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!